Okay, year 9. Sorry I can't be here to teach you today. I'm going to do my best to explain things to you in this video. So in our last class, we finished up doing task analysis, and I had you all post two analyses to a form on my website. I will have a look at, I'll be having a look at those in the next couple days. So hopefully you've all got them in. If I was here, the next thing we would do is I would show you the materials that we're going to use for this project, and we would demonstrate a number of the different techniques that you're going to use to shape and join plastics, and then we would write a specification. Because I'm not here, I'm going to actually move you ahead to page 13 in your books, and we're going to actually get you, while I'm away, to start doing some drawing practice. Okay. Once you've done drawing practice and we've done our design specifications, then you are pretty close to actually starting to come up with some designs for your desk organizers. So, to set you up for this, I've left your teacher with a handout for you. It's just a set of instructions. So before we do that, what I wanted you to do was just get a little bit of practice with isometric drawing. It should be reviewed for most of you, but I'll quickly go over what I mean by isometric drawing. So isometric drawing is one way to show objects in 3D. It's quite useful because in isometric drawing, all the measurements and all the different sides stay the same. So you can take an isometric drawing and turn it into a working drawing very easily. So you'll see in this picture here, that's 2 units, that's 2 units, that's 2 units. As this cube goes into the distance, it doesn't actually shrink, which is what would happen if this was a perspective drawing. So there's basically 3 main rules you need to follow when you're doing isometric drawing. One is vertical lines are vertical lines. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Where it gets a little trickier is horizontal lines are not drawn straight across the page, but they're drawn at a 30-degree angle. So if that's a horizontal line, that's actually 30 degrees. Okay. And if you've got another line going in the same direction, the most important thing is to make sure it's actually going at the same angle. So to get you started and warmed up, I've left lots of isometric grid paper with your teacher. It looks like this, and you can go get a couple sheets. And what I want you to do is put your name on the top, okay? And it's actually going to go into your workbook when you're done. And you can hand your workbook in to the teacher at the end, or actually just put the workbook in your class drawer at the end of class so I can have a look at it. And I want you to just draw this very simple music player, okay? Make sure you get the units correct. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units up. On here that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And see also if you can get these letters here to actually look like they're in isometric as well. What I would suggest you do if you're going to do for that is you actually do what's called crating, which I'll explain a bit more in a minute. Draw an isometric crate around them first, and then you can actually try to fit the letters in and make sure that they're at the right angle. So once you've done that, then what I've done is I've left you some instructions on how to draw an ellipse. And I'm actually going to put 2 videos on the blog. One of them is a video on how to hand draw ellipses. So once you finish drawing the Music Maker, if you want to go get a computer, you can watch the video on drawing ellipses. If there's a couple of you, you could watch the video together. Because we don't have headphones, can you please go and watch at the back of the class so you don't disturb everyone else? Okay, so the basic idea behind drawing an ellipse, and I've drawn one here, is you want to start by drawing an isometric crate. So you know the ellipse is going to go inside this square. Okay? And The next step is to draw some guidelines. So what I did with my pencil here is I drew a line across the long part of my isometric square. This is called my major axis of the ellipse. And then I drew another line across here, and that is my minor axis. Okay. The minor axis gets shorter the more the circle that the ellipse describes is turned away from you. So this circle is turned away a lot more than this circle. This one we can see more. Okay. So then I need to also draw two more lines. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint here and the midpoint here, straight across, and also from the midpoint here and here, straight across. So to get started drawing this ellipse, the first thing is to realize that when the ellipse touches the midpoints of the isometric square, it's tangent, which means it's going in the same direction. So right here, it's going in the same direction. Right here, it's going in the same direction. So you can start off by drawing that tangent piece, and it's going to cross the major axis about a quarter of the way down from the corner. Okay, if that's about halfway, it's about a quarter way. So once you've got your two tangent points, then you can just join up the arc like that. And I did the same thing at this end. Okay, and then what's left to do is join it up, have it cross the minor axis, and again, doesn't have to be perfect. This is a freehand drawing, so that's about halfway. It's about a quarter way. So all I did was make sure that this was tangent there, and then I tried to have a nice even arc going there and there, and that gave me my ellipse. What I actually did in this picture was I did it in a light pencil first, and then I went over it in a darker pencil. Okay, so watch the video on the blog. Hopefully this explanation is also useful. And then in your workbooks, okay, you've got two pictures. Start by trying to draw a isometric square like this one. Maybe do it on this side or over here. And see if you can draw ellipses on all the three faces. If you do that quite easily, pick one or two of these shapes up here and see, you don't have to draw the whole thing, but pick one or two of these shapes and see if you can draw them as well. So that's your task, is the music player. Watch the video on ellipses, and then see if you can draw ellipses. Okay. If you finish all of this, and don't rush it, take your time. Okay, the better you get at this, the better your design work will be. The next section in the workbook is on creating and rendering. And for those of you who finish early, what I want you to do is see if you can follow this sequence of steps. And I'm going to put another video on the blog as well, which you can watch before that, which does a good job explaining how creating and rendering works. Okay, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you when I get back.